World War II was one of the most brutal and bloody conflicts in world history, and it has forever changed and shaped the world that we live in today, making it an event regularly depicted in movies and films all across the world. The tragedy and horror of World War II will remain a topic of importance and interest for generations to come, and there are thousands of movies available set in a World War II backdrop. And my aim for this list is to highlight my choices of the top 10 World War II movies that you need to watch. Let me know in the comments below if you agree or disagree with my recommendations. And also, if you love anything to do with historical movies or historical TV shows, then subscribe to my channel History Spark, as I post new videos about these topics each week. So at number 10, it is Come and See, a 1985 Soviet anti-war film which is based on the 1978 book I Am from the Fiery Village. The film's primary plot is based on the Nazi occupation of Belarus and the events that were witnessed by Fyodor, a young Belarusian teenager who, against his family's wishes, joins the Belarusian resistance movement against the Nazis. A primary consideration within the film is based on the various atrocities and abuse of human rights that were committed by the Nazis upon the Eastern European populace, a topic which is not covered frequently enough in World War II movies in my opinion. But if you're looking for a movie that has an engaging plot, a broad range of themes, and excellent acting, then Come and See is the perfect recommendation for you. At number 9, it is The Twelfth Man, a Norwegian historical drama based around the life of John Balsrud, a British trained commando for the Norwegian resistance who is trying to escape from the Nazis after being betrayed by a local German sympathizer. This film has an amazing and fast-paced plot which depicts the physical hardships and tribulations he has to endure to avoid being captured by the Nazis. And it really highlights to the viewer how risky and difficult it was for resistance fighters to find trustworthy locals during this time. This film has amazing acting, a great plot, and a great sense of realism throughout the entire film, providing some of the best immersion I have ever seen in a World War II movie. There's a few issues in filling out the Nazi antagonists in this film, but honestly there's very little else to critique. So if you're looking for a fast-paced and action-filled World War II film, then The Twelfth Man is the perfect recommendation for you. At number 8, it is Dunkirk, a war film which depicts the Dunkirk evacuation of World War II, in which 400,000 stranded English and French troops were rescued from the harbors of Dunkirk. This film is unique as it gives the perspective of events leading up to this evacuation from the land, sea, and air, really highlighting to viewers exactly just how dangerous and challenging this rescue mission was. This film has fantastic acting by the entire cast as there is very little dialogue, especially during the land scenes, meaning that the actors have to communicate primarily with their facial expressions and body language. But the plot here is pretty lacking as there's just no explanation of the events that have forced these troops leading to be stuck in Dunkirk, and the story constantly jumps from air to sea to land, and eventually the plot just gets quite muddled and is not always easy to follow. Dunkirk is a great film for any fan who wants a better understanding of the Dunkirk evacuation, even if Christopher Nolan does his best to confuse you throughout the entire film. At number 7, it is Defiance, a film based on the 1993 book Defiance, the Bielski Partisans, which sees 4 Jewish brothers, the Bielskis, escape persecution by the Nazis by fleeing into the Neliboki forest. Eventually they meet up with other refugees and Jewish escapees and become the leaders of the small rebel force, and they do their best to survive in some of the most harrowing and challenging situations. This film stars Daniel Craig, Liev Schreiber, and Jamie Bell in lead roles for this movie, and they all do a spectacular job of bringing their characters to life. The plot also does a fantastic job of showing how difficult it is to maintain control of a group of people facing extreme situations. There is very little to critique about this film as the acting, storyline, and cinematography is all first class. Some reviewers have critiqued the film for portraying Jews in an overly passive manner, but I think the film does the best it can within the constraints it had, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone looking for a great World War II film. At number 6, it is Letters from Iwo Jima, which tells the story of the Battle of Iwo Jima between the United States and Japanese during World War II. But this film is unique as it tells the battle from the perspective of the Japanese soldiers who participated. This Clint Eastwood produced movie is the companion film to The Flags of Our Fathers, which shows the Battle of Iwo Jima but from the perspective of the American soldiers. Both films are great, but Letters from Iwo Jima is my preferred version, as the movie provides a unique perspective, impressive storytelling, and some realistic battle scenes as well. The plot is a bit slow to start with, and it is a bit different from the standard Hollywood war movie setup that we are used to, but that is no bad thing. Stick with the movie beyond its first act and you will discover a compelling film which will have you emotionally engaged and involved throughout its entire duration. At number 5 is Downfall, a movie which explores the final days of Adolf Hitler stuck in his Berlin bunker, and this film is told through the viewpoint of his secretary, Trudy Jung. This film has an amazing premise and it is very interesting as it is able to depict Hitler in a new light. Some of the criticism I have seen around this film is based around the fact that some people felt that this movie played out more like a documentary rather than a film, but I disagree as I feel like the acting was spot on, there is a good and unique story to be told on the screen, and it is different from many of the other World War II films that I have seen up to this point. At number 4, it is Inglourious Basterds, an alternate history movie which focuses on two separate plots to assassinate different Nazi leaders, one planned by Shoshana Dreyfus, a young French Jewish cinema proprietor, and the other by a team of Jewish American soldiers led by First Lieutenant Aldo Raine. Brad Pitt stars as Aldo Raine and Christopher Waltz as Hans Landa, one of the primary antagonists of the film, who is tasked with tracking down Raine and his group and serve them with some Nazi justice. Both of these actors are great in their roles and do a fantastic job of carrying the film. The plot here is interesting and different from most World War II movies you may have seen already. Inglourious Basterds has a good blend of action, humor, and brutality, and it is a film that will keep you engaged from beginning to end. At number 3, it is the Academy Award winning classic film, The Bridge on the River Kwai, which tells a fictional tale based around the construction of the Burma Railway from 1942 to 1943. The primary plot of the film is that the British prisoners of war are being forced into slave labor to build a railway bridge across the River Kwai by the Japanese, who have managed to capture and occupy Burma. There is a secondary plot which focuses on a group of allied forces who are attempting a mission through the perilous jungles of Burma to destroy this bridge before it can be completed. This film stars Alec Guinness and William Holden in starring roles, with Alec Guinness in particular receiving high praise for his performance. The plot here is engaging and complex, and alongside that the set pieces and cinematography is great as well. This classic film will keep you glued to the edge of your seats, and you owe it yourself to watch this film if you want an engaging World War II adventure. At number 2, it is Schindler's List, perhaps Steven Spielberg's greatest work to date, and a film that seems to have had an everlasting effect on not just historical movie fans but mainstream audiences as well, as it has a mind-boggling IMDb score of 8.9 based off 1.3 million reviews. Schindler's List was able to really bring to the big screen the horrors of the Holocaust and World War II in a manner that the world probably hadn't ever seen before. And the general storyline of Oskar Schindler's incredible bravery and tact to save the lives of over 1,000 Jews during this time was a plot that was well received by audiences. Liam Neeson deserves high praise for his standout performance as Oskar Schindler, and it is the film considered by many to have made him a household name and a Hollywood A-lister. Simply put, Schindler's List is a film that is deserving of the accolade of being considered a masterpiece, and it seems that at least 1 million people would agree with this statement based on its IMDb reviews. At number 1, it is Saving Private Ryan. The basic premise of this film is about the rescue mission by a squadron of soldiers who are tasked with finding and evacuating the last surviving brother of the Ryan family during the invasion of Normandy. The acting in this film is top tier, with Tom Hanks leading an all-star cast, all of whom excel at bringing their characters to life. Steven Spielberg delivers a masterpiece with Saving Private Ryan, as the cinematography, battle scenes, and costume design are all of the highest caliber, with the film actually winning the award for Best Cinematography and Best Director. Saving Private Ryan is worthy of all the praise it gets and more, and you owe it to yourself to find out why, even after all these years, Saving Private Ryan still tops many people's list of the best World War II movies ever created. So lastly, I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please do like and share this video with others. And if you enjoy anything about historical movies and historical TV shows, why not subscribe to my channel History Spark, as I post videos on these topics on a regular basis. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.